All right, let me show you what I got going on here. So the first time that I made the back piece for the Adirondack chair, the one with the 30-degree cut on it, on this template, I ran into a problem with it. And here's the piece, right? Got my 30-degree cut. It's real consistent because I'm using it against that bandsaw template guide thing I made. But there's not a lot of meat here. And this are just decking boards, so what, 5.5 inches? Right? So when you're drilling your screws in for your vertical back pieces, your back slats, there's not a lot of meat there. And it's kind of weak. So the more material I could get, the better off I'm going to be. But originally, I took this template like this, put it in the back of a fence, a straight edge, put my board against that, put my fence against that, and stapled it. And that's where I come up with this one. Okay? This time I'm trying something different. I'm turning it around. I put a shim in here that holds this piece away from the fence just a little bit. These two are making, the edges there are making contact on my fence. I've centered this thing, pushed it up against my template, and then stapled it. And here's what it gives me when I do that. So I got just a little, you see that little 1/16 maybe right there? That's all I'm looking for. And that'll give me more material in here. Right? And then at the other end, about the same. So we'll take it to the bandsaw and I'll show you how that works. Now, just hang on for the ride, because if I pause this thing, I'm going to screw up my video. So, walk through the messy shop. All it is wood in here. I got my bandsaw set at 30 degrees. I've got my template jig mounted just with F-clamps, okay, onto the table. The template guide, if I can do this, I got a notch cut in it. I had to go pretty deep with the notch because of the angle, right? So that's in there. And then it sits, kind of hard to see. It sits in there. But I'll show you how this thing works. Let me set my camera up back here. Let's see if I can get in there with it. Yeah, let's go from the back because I'm just going to block you. I'll do a little cut here until this camera tripod gets in the way. Okay? We'll try going. Let me zoom in. Okay. Let's try that. You take your template. Your template's going to ride on this radius here. And then it'll start cutting our wood. All right, let's go. Hit the tripod there. I'm going to move it just a little bit. I hope you can see what's going on here. Okay, let me back the camera up a little bit. Let me unzoom and show you what I came up with. Here's my two pieces, 30-degree cut, and it is super smooth. I mean, it's nice. It's not ragged or nothing. It's consistent. So light sanding, and I think we'll take the lines out of it. You might be able to see them, but there's nothing really, nothing crazy. It just follows that template to a T. Right along it. Let me reverse it. You get to see how much it left on there. See, that's just like a 1/16. Just riding all along that template. You can hear the blade sometimes if you're not keeping consistent, like straight on these 2 points of the jig. You can kind of hear the bearings because it's getting all kittywampus in there, right? So when you straighten it out, it really seems to ride real nice and just follows that right along. So, man, does that give a nice cut. And this way of doing it, I built a little bit more wood back here for screws and strength. So I made the video basically not for anything other than just me remembering. I have to go back to YouTube and say, how did I do that again? And then watch this video and then I'll figure it out. So it's basically for me, but if you get something out of it, that's great. So that's what it's all about. So just sharing. But I think I like the consistent results that I'm getting with the template. So it's, man, turned out really nice. So talk to you in a bit.